Hello everyone, and welcome to State of the Game for the 13th of April. Hi Yannick, welcome back.
Hello Hamish.
And the spring event.
Yes.
People may not have heard about it, Yannick. Let's start with that.
Yeah, I've seen some people already started picking it up from the ticker down there.
Yes.
So yes, we have a spring event coming. That's actually starting tomorrow. So if you've gone into the game already, you may have seen that we have some sales going on at the premium vendor. So there is a whole sales thing that is happening. So if you log in every day, you will see some special sales there, items at 75% off or whatever. But more importantly, we also have some in-game event.
Yay, finally!
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, we are starting to roll out the whole idea of double kind of thing and all of that. So we have 2 of these coming this weekend because it's a long weekend for many people. So what we have is starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. CEST, which is 8 a.m. UTC, like GMT and all of that.
There's a lot of, it's all over the place now.
So wait, let me try to do the math now because now I started. 10 a.m. CEST, which is 4 a.m. EDT, I think, and ST. No, it's.
I love watching you struggle.
EDT or ST now? Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Look it up.
8 a.m. GMT, and then you can try to do the conversion. Tomorrow, April 14th until April 16th, same time, so 48 hours, you will get an extra drop event. So basically, every time you kill a name boss anywhere in the game, you will get 1 extra drop on this name boss. Nice. So what that means is that like all the mission bosses, all the open world bosses, the dark zone bosses, underground, what else do I have in here? HVTs, all this kind of stuff. Every time you kill a name boss, even the missions that have more than 1,
double drops.
You get 1 extra drop. It's not double drops.
Not double drops,
but it's 1 extra drop per name bosses. So if you farm name bosses, you're gonna get more drops, which is a cool thing. So that's for 48 hours, but it doesn't end here.
There's more.
But there is more. Because then from April 16th, so when this one ends, we start for another 48 hours. And this time we are bringing back the double field proficiency caches that we did for the anniversary, actually it was. So yes, every time you actually fill up your field proficiency bar and get a field proficiency cache, you get an extra field proficiency cache with it. So
nice.
2 proficiency caches.
Dust off those knee pads that you weren't using that give you extra experience.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
You should do that. Because when else are you going to use them? I mean, really.
All right. So yeah. So again, recap starting tomorrow, April 14th. For 48 hours, every time you kill a name boss, you get an extra drop. And the 48 hours after that, every time you get a proficiency cache, you get a second one for free.
Now I can move on.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Quality update 1.6.1. I'm excited. That's why I'm moving on. We are still scheduled for May for this, and there will be a PTS beforehand. We can't quite commit to that date just yet, but we are in the whole process of getting that PTS ready and out as soon as we can, because obviously we want it out as soon as we can, because then we can test.
Yeah, but it's basically being built right now, the PTS build.
Yes. So
until we get confirmation that it's stable enough and we can actually release it, that it doesn't crash your game or whatever, or crash your PC or anything. We do not have a date, but it's looking good. Cool. And as soon as it's built and we're sure it works, we can give you a date.
Great. Also, just for clarification, we have said it many times on the stream in relation to the PTS. The console PTS will be coming for 1.7.
Yeah.
1.6.1 will be for PC only. Just to be clear.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure that people know that so they don't have any confusion.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, PS4 PTS, Sergeant Teabag, will be on 1.7, not 1.6.1. Yeah. Do you want to do the good news? What I think is really good news.
So one of the good news, that's at least going to be good news for some, is that when we announced the year 2 thing, there was one thing we talked about, which was loadouts, and people were like, oh, it looks like it's almost ready, so why do we have to wait until 1.7 to have it released? And back then, we thought it would take us that long to actually finish it. Good news, we actually managed to finish it earlier than planned. So loadouts are coming with 1.6.1.
Yes! Okay, I'm very, very happy about that. I think it's great news. I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. I know some people will be very happy.
Yep.
Maybe some others don't care. But I'm very, very happy about it. There we go. I already see some people saying that's very good. we also need to clarify, this just means that this feature is coming sooner in 1.6.1. This doesn't mean that that workload has been removed from 1.7 and those people can now be assigned to a new feature. That's not how it's going to work. Those people will be working on 1.7 and making sure that that's a great patch. But
they will be supporting all the rest. But it's like loadouts is not replaced with something else in 1.7. It's just going to be finished earlier, which is great, and therefore the people that were working on it will support with the things that were already planned for 1.7.
Exactly.
Which were still our take on seasons and feats.
Yes. So there was obviously a conversation like, hey, we think loadouts are going to be ready for 1.6.1. Should we bring it? And then then it's not in 1.7, it's in 1.6.1. Of course, we want to get it out as soon as possible.
And it was something that was brought up by people as well when we showed it, and like, because yes, of course, it's a long wait between when we announced year 2 and 1.7. We said, July, August, or whatever. So it's a very long wait, and some people were like, well, at least give us the loadouts before, so there's something that feels like new. And we looked at it, and we were like, yeah, you know what? Actually, yes, we can make it happen. So let's do it.
Awesome.
So loadouts are coming. So one of the things that we're adding with 1.6.1, and again, remember 1.6.1 is what we call a quality update, which means it's not like one of the major updates that we're going to do like 1.7 or 1.8. It's mostly, we talked about it, quality of life and these kind of things. So it's a bit smaller additions, but what we're adding, for example, is the concept of proficiency marks in Last Stand. So what are proficiency marks? It's basically a tracker that's going to track all the things you're doing while you're playing Last Stand.
Yep.
And that's going to like highlight the players that perform the best. So for example, the player that gets the best kill-death ratio during a Last Stand game is going to get extra rewards. The player who gets like the most capture points is going to get extra rewards and all of that. And so you can see that in real time during the game on the scoreboard. And at the end of the game, each team gets their own proficiency marks reward. Okay. And you get, if you get a proficiency mark, you basically get more points.
Great.
For your score.
And then that will, in theory, not in theory, in practice, convert to more caches for those people that get those things. We don't have the full list of what those different buckets for proficiency marks are.
Yeah, we don't have the list yet.
But when we do get them, I'm excited to talk about them. I want to see if things like healing and those sorts of things are on there. So it's going to be very cool. Some of the other things that I think are great, landmarks, when you clear them, you'll get rewards straight to your inventory. And also DZXP and currency, which I think is great because it's always also frustrating when you go into a half-completed landmark and the boss is gone.
That's the idea, it's just to get the player to do this extra effort of like, okay, I killed the name boss of the landmark, but if I just killed the last NPCs that are standing there, I'm going to get some extra rewards on top of it. So yes, and this is direct to inventory loot, so you don't even have to extract, which is quite convenient.
Great. I actually wish we had the folks at Redstorm on the laptop today because they've been working on a bunch of other stuff. There's been some level design changes as well. Hopefully we can get them on again at some point soon. But things like Coward's Corner, and these sorts of things allowing people to do what some may consider a little bit cheesy gameplay, are receiving some changes. And I hope we can share some screenshots of those in the coming weeks. If we can't, then you'll experience those on the PTS. But there are some level design changes which I think are very, very cool.
Yeah, it's just thinking about manhunts in a dark zone and everything, and trying to get rid of some of the areas that were a bit problematic when you would go in manhunt and then find spots where you can basically just hide, and like players that are trying to hunt you down have actually no chance whatsoever to fight you. Yeah.
So I'm saying, is the ladder removed? There's some changes. The ladder is not important anymore.
The ladder, some changes. Yeah, it's just like the level design of the area is reworked. So
yeah. Perfect.
So there's a bit more chances for people that want to hunt you down there.
Yeah, perfect. Also, we've talked about it before. Extended magazines will be receiving some changes. So craftable ones and I guess ones that drop, level 34 ones. This won't be retroactive, so if you have a level 34 mag, it will retain the same values that you have today. But if you craft one or one drops, it will now roll up to a maximum of 121%.
Yes.
Which I'm going to put on.
Oh yeah, burst fire. So yes, there's been an issue for a while already with burst fire weapons, especially on PC, but I think you can do it on console as well, where if you kind of bind the fire control to the scroll wheel or these kind of things, you can basically use your burst fire weapon pretty much the same way you would use an automatic weapon, which means that you get the bonus from the extra damage because it's supposed to be burst fire, but with the RPM of an automatic weapon, which makes them kind of
OP. Yeah.
So we have a fix for that. So you will no longer be able to do these kind of things. A burst fire weapon will always have to burst fire, no matter what control you use to actually shoot with it. It should bring a bit more balance, especially in PvP with the people that were running around with a burst fire.
Yeah, exactly.
The next thing that we wanted to talk about that's coming also with 1.6.1 is stagger. So we know that stagger has been an issue, and not just shotgun stagger, but stagger overall everywhere, and not just in PvP, in PvE as well. Stagger was buffed up with 1.6, probably too much. So we're going to go back to values that are closer to what it used to be before 1.6 in terms of stagger.
Yep.
So everywhere, NPCs and PvP and on all weapons.
Yes, it's the stagger can be pretty frustrating. I mean, I know that you were watching the stream I was doing yesterday or the day before, and you've got a few clips of just that stagger being it's pretty brutal. I mean, you guys know about that. So yes, stagger is going to be definitely significantly reduced.
Yeah. Next one is also one that some people might be happy about, which is, again, back in Last Stand. But I realize that's completely not organized. But anyway, Last Stand spawn camping. So there are some improvements coming. There were some small improvements already being made, but we have more coming that are basically going to improve the spawn logic. And so the game is going to do a better job at detecting if you're actually being spawn camped, and if it is, it's going to offer you more spawn options. So that should make the spawn camping less of an issue, because if people are just camping your spawn point, you will have alternative options to spawn at.
Perfect. I'm happy with that.
All right.
What else you got?
Should I keep going?
Please do.
Okay. Next one is also a happy one, which is Shrapnel, Fear Tactics, and Wildfire are going to be fixed.
Yes.
So they're going to work, especially Shrapnel that didn't work with Predator 4-piece. Now it's going to work.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming back.
Fear Tactics and Wildfire that wouldn't always spread the effect. So Fear Tactics spreading the shock, Wildfire spreading the fire effect or the burn effect. These were not working correctly. Now they are going to be fixed and will be working.
Yes. So a lot of these things, I'm very interested to see how they work out on the PTS. So one of these things to keep in mind, everyone, we do want your feedback on these things.
Yeah, it's all going to be on the PTS.
We especially want your feedback once they've been on the PTS and you've had a chance to try them out. I know that if history is anything to go by, whenever we make changes like this, we get a lot of feedback that is speculative. I mean, we have an idea of how it, well, not when I say we, I mean Yannick and I that haven't tried it out, but there's obviously developers who have tested it.
Yeah.
We have different ideas. Everyone in chat probably has a very, very specific idea themselves about how these things will work. But let's continue to give feedback, and especially once the PTS is out.
Yeah. Somebody was asking, will they work on agents? Yes, they should. That's at least the intended design. So. Yeah. Again, please test all of that on the PTS and tell us if it works correctly and if it doesn't become OP suddenly or whatever. But yeah, so these were not working correctly. Now they will.
Great.
Then next, what do we have? So, and again, this is just like a shortened list of the things that we have. We are still working on the patch notes right now, so we haven't gone through all the changes. But what do we have? Environment improvements. So basically, there's been a bunch of improvements that have been made overall to the game, to the open world, the dark zone, and all that, especially in relation to cover, to collisions, to places where you could end up stuck, to props that would be missing or textures that would be missing. A lot of things have been done there just to try to kind of improve the environment, and especially the collision and covers.
Yes,
we've been through that a few times, so that's just why we are not adding it. But yes, the airburst seeker changes that we talked about are coming with 1.6.1.
Yes, obviously along with a lot of Last Stand fixes, Survivor Link as well. The speed bonus that wasn't working has been fixed, and the last one we have in here, throwable skills, have received some bug fixes as well, and you guys know the throwable skills bugs that we're talking about if you've experienced them.